What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and stimulus news report for Thursday, December 3rd. Today we have a lot to cover. Some good news, and like always, some bad. Currently, we have 8 days left. 8 days. Okay, not working days. 8 days left before the continuing resolution for the government funding expires and the government shuts down. This will happen on December 11th. If we do not have a bill. This is what is causing Congress to currently work fast and get a bipartisan stimulus package done and into the omnibus bill before that deadline. So we'll see if that happens. Currently, Mitch McConnell stated, and he stated this just yesterday, we just don't have time to waste time. Yet, he is attempting to pass a stimulus package that leaves out many of the higher priorities from Democrats. For instance, there's no stimulus checks, there's no state and local government funding, and only 1 month of extended unemployment with no federal boost. This is just some of the stuff that he's proposing. However, don't worry, this is not the bill that most lawmakers are currently supporting. They're actually supporting a different bill. You already know which one that is if you watched any of my videos from yesterday. If you missed any of those, I will link to all 3 of those down in the description box below, so make sure you go and check those out. Now, also, in addition to only providing 1 month of unemployment benefits, Mitch McConnell completely left out rental assistance and food assistance. Both of those not in Mitch McConnell's proposal. So right there, every single Democrat will not support this bill. Now, these are just some of the Democrats' priorities, and Mitch McConnell left all of these out. So the things that they really wanted, Mitch McConnell's like, who cares? But yet he's telling everybody in his interviews that we need to pass a bipartisan stimulus package. But reports out this morning are actually saying that most people are not on board with Mitch McConnell's proposal, and they prefer the $908 billion emergency relief framework that was put in front of them by a 9-senator group. So this is good news that the majority of the people right now, the majority of Congress, does not support Mitch McConnell's roughly, I think it's like an $800 billion stimulus package. But it leaves out so much stuff that they do not support it. Yeah, there's more money for schools, but there's also no money for rental assistance and food assistance. Those are big priorities, not just for Republicans, not just for Democrats, for some Republicans as well. Right now, the main thing that is holding back more Republicans from supporting the $908 billion bill is that it would actually cost an additional $228 billion in new appropriations. But let me explain this figure so that you really understand how this breaks down. Because it's only $228 billion. But didn't I just say it's a $908 billion proposal? How does this work? This is how. First off, we have roughly $550 billion from the Federal Reserve. If you add that, plus the roughly $130 billion that from leftover funding from the PPP program, that equals $680 billion. If you take $908 billion, subtract the $680 billion from that, comes out to about $228 billion. So far less than what Mitch McConnell really wanted proposed. He said under $500 billion. That is under $500 billion. But many people right now still do not support this. Even Larry Kudlow tells us, and this is from yesterday, he tells us where the White House stands in regards to the billions, the hundreds of billions of dollars in unused funding. So let's watch the clip and you can hear exactly from Larry Kudlow what he says about this money.
We would like to repurpose that money and repurpose it to key areas such as PPP, small businesses, and unemployment assistance, and maybe some direct checks mailed from the Treasury Department to those who are having a rough time. So let's repurpose that money. It's right there. It's a big chunk of it. It's nearly $600 billion, actually.
So all he's really saying is that the White House would like to use these funds for PPP funding for small businesses that have been hurt by this pandemic, also for unemployment assistance. He doesn't specifically say whether he wants a large boost of $600 per week or $300, maybe somewhere in the middle, but he says unemployment assistance. Most people are just assuming there'll be a small boost, probably $300 to $400, and it will also include some assistance for the PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which would help for self-employed and gig workers, and it would also extend probably another 13 weeks of just regular unemployment. So it is good that the White House is considering this as well. And the last thing he said is, and some direct checks from the Treasury Department, aka stimulus checks. That's what everybody wants, stimulus checks. We are in December. What do you think the people want? They want a way to provide a Christmas to their family, to provide a meal, to make sure the heat does not get shut off during the winter. That's what the American people want. That's what they want. They've already had a very bad 2020. They would like to end the year on somewhat of a positive note, if there is any positivity out there to be found. But let me just point this out, because didn't Mitch McConnell say that he is only comfortable spending $500 billion for a stimulus package? That's what he said. And yes, and this is why many experts believe, just reading the reports out this morning, and a few late last night actually, I was up very late last night, but just reading the reports early this morning, it is stating that more people believe Mitch McConnell is open to adding stimulus checks to this package. He is looking into combining his proposal with the emergency relief framework and possibly including stimulus checks. That's what the reports are stating right now. Because when we look at the figures, hey, we know based on what reports are telling us is that stimulus checks, the first round of stimulus checks back in April, they cost roughly $275 billion. Well, when you add $275 billion for the second stimulus check to the $228 billion or roughly for the new money for the $908 billion proposal, well, that equals $503 billion in new money. That's $3 billion away from what Mitch McConnell wants. I think we can bring it down to $3 billion in some way and get it to exactly what Mitch McConnell's cap was, $500 billion. We're right there. We're very close. So let's just get it done. This is why all signs as of right now are pointing to Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi actually negotiating on that $908 billion emergency relief framework in order to agree to the details by this weekend. This is what reports are saying, and this is what multiple senators have said, is that they would like to get the details of the deal done by this weekend. Whether that's tomorrow, we don't know if that's tomorrow or Friday, or is it by Sunday evening. We don't know that. They haven't said that. They haven't specified, but I'd assume they will work through the weekend to get the details of this done this weekend. By Monday morning, we will have the details and then hopefully pass it before December 11th. That's the goal right now. Right now, Americans need more help than ever before. In April, it was the worst month for COVID deaths, and yesterday, the United States reported 199,988 new cases and 2,885 deaths. That is now our new daily record for deaths in a single day. That's horrible. We now topped April. I think it was April 15th was our highest day on record, and we surpassed that. That's not a good record to break. And many experts believe we will see 2,000 day averages of deaths. 2,000 deaths per day average over the next couple of weeks. That's not good. We also topped 100,000 hospitalizations throughout the country as well. More and more hospitals are at capacity. This is not good news. This pandemic is not going to get any better until the vaccines turn into vaccinations. things will continue to get worse. That's not just my warning to you. I just want you guys to be safe. That's also what health experts around the country and around the globe have been saying for months. This is why all of our top government officials are urging lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to pass a COVID relief bill now. Don't wait. The American people cannot wait. Businesses cannot wait. Schools, children cannot wait. We need help now. Also, based on all the reports over the past 24 hours, most lawmakers are more supportive of the $908 billion stimulus proposal than Mitch McConnell's package, like I already mentioned. However, they have expressed their concerns with a few missing pieces. This is both Republicans and Democrats that are expressing their concerns, both publicly and probably privately as well. There's no stimulus check. Many people say that's a non-starter. There's no pandemic unemployment assistance for self-employed and gig workers. Some Democrats say this is a non-starter. And there's no extension to the eviction moratorium. Many people on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans in both houses, are saying this is a non-starter. We need to provide another extension to the eviction moratorium if we are also going to provide rental assistance. And if we're not going to provide rental assistance, we need more of an eviction moratorium. Right now, these are the three things that Democrats want included in this bill. And like I said, some Republicans as well. Adding these few things into whatever package we have will obviously make the package more expensive, and that is the one thing that Republicans are most worried about. We know this, we've known this. Republicans are always going to be looking at the bottom line, the figure, okay? And if that figure is too large, more and more Republicans will not support this. But we did hear some good news yesterday and about what is going on, okay? We heard some good news from Republican Senator John Thune. He said Mitch McConnell's proposal could easily be merged with the bipartisan framework. That's good news. Now, how it would and what would be merged and what would be left out is currently unknown. We don't know that, but hopefully we'll get answers on that sometime later today, if not tomorrow. That's my hope. Over the past few days, every time I come out in the morning, just like I just did, hopefully we get answers on that sometime today. Every time I do that, within the next couple of hours, obviously I'm shooting this video, it is 4:20 in the morning, 4:20 on Thursday morning, so obviously it's early, but the reason I do this is so that I can get you guys the newest update, the newest information, but every time I say hopefully we get more information on that, somehow we get information. So that's good news. Hopefully that's projecting some positivity and we see some good news sometime today. Now, I want to shift gears just a little bit and address what Joe Biden would like to see in a stimulus package. And I want to give you this information because we know, based on what everyone has said and based on the meetings Joe Biden has had with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, both personally, physically, they did it I think once or twice, and then they've also had many calls together, is that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are turning to Joe Biden for advice every single step of the way. What Joe Biden wants is what Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are doing now. This is why there's such a big shift. It's not just the vaccine. It's not just because we're heading into a new year and possibly a new presidency. It's because Joe Biden is now calling the shots. Whether we like it or not, that is what is happening. So, during Joe Biden's virtual meeting with business owners yesterday, he mentioned that he would like to see what he would like to see in an economic stimulus plan. Instead of watching that lengthy video, which you can do it if you want to, but let me outline what were his top priorities as of right now. First, and this isn't in any order, this is just how he was saying it. So first, he wants more than just liability protections for businesses. He would like to see liability protections for workers as well. All renters and homeowners behind on their payments should get their payments paid for. It's not going to be a loan. He wants them to have these payments paid for. And again, this is going to go on until after the pandemic is over. He says that this should be guaranteed money. It should not be a loan. He also wants to push for drug prices to come down significantly and have a Medicaid option. This would greatly help seniors. He also said he wants to provide unemployment boost of $600 per week to help people stay above water. Nancy Pelosi, by agreeing to or somewhat accepting that $908 billion stimulus proposal from the 9 senators, she was pretty much accepting the $300 per week bonus. But she also said that they want to make some modifications. This could be one of those modifications. Joe Biden also said he wants to provide money for businesses hurting due to COVID, but this should also be guaranteed money, not a loan. Even Steve Mnuchin came out yesterday and said that all restaurants hurt by COVID should get a grant, not a loan. All restaurants, because they have been hurt the hardest. They have been hit the hardest due to COVID and potential lockdowns. Now, probably the most important thing that Joe Biden said yesterday during this meeting was this, and I quote, "Any economic relief done now is just a down payment on what is going to happen next year." This tells me that Joe Biden is planning on dumping a lot of money back into the economy as quickly as next year, and this is going to be done through various pieces of legislation, both probably from Congress and probably executive orders. So that's what we know right now. And what we know is that the stimulus package is being considered as part of the omnibus bill, which Congress would like to have an agreement on by this weekend, and then both the package and the omnibus bill passed and signed into law by December 11th. That is their goal. So this is just 1 week away. Okay, this is 1 week from tomorrow. Pretty much 1 week away. We gotta hurry. But as always, as I know more about the stimulus proposal, stimulus package, and stimulus negotiations, I will come back here and update you on all the new things. So consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on all things stimulus. And feel free to share this video with your friends, family, and colleagues over on Facebook as well, so they too can stay updated. So again, thank you guys for watching. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.